Feeling like you are wearing too many hats? I know that I am. Are you creating stories, editing, doing analytics and promotion like I am? I could tell you this is a path and a recipe for burnout. Stay with us to the end. We dive into the overload problem and how to reclaim your creativity without losing your mind. We are presenting techniques to go from zero to discover in YouTube. Follow these practical roadmaps for strategic YouTube growth and avoid burnout. As you know, most new creators fail to get discovered. That's not a secret. Not because the content is bad, but because they are trapped in a stop and start cycle. They don't even know that it exists. Let's look at some of the problems that we see. The first problem we see is the reality of growth. YouTube discovery isn't locked. It's a production system. You are no longer just a creator, you are a director, an editor, and a data analyst. So therefore, what is your goal? The goal is to shift from hobby mindset, posting randomly, to a strategic creator mindset where you actually build an audience. That should be the goal that all of us should have. The path to get there, success is a marathon. It requires wearing many hats while staying focused on the why. The why you're doing. What is your why? You need to answer that question. What's the second problem? It's called the no direction problem. Right? Many creators start without a focus, leading to a random content that confuses both the viewers and the algorithm. If the viewers or the algorithm are confused, they might click on your video, but they are not going to stay and give you the watch hours that you need to be successful. Also, the algorithms are going to stop pushing your video out there. So what's the solution? The solution is an internal goal setting. Define your niche and your unique value proposition. It took me a while to I thought I knew what my niche was, but it took me a while to define it. But that should be the first thing that you should look into. There are many ways, and I will address that in some of my next video. How to find your niche and what are some of the most profitable niche. That's one of my upcoming videos, so stay tuned to that. So let's figure out how do you do that. Define your content pillar. Take 2 to 3 core topics you will stick to. For example, you like sports, you like fashion, you like cars, you like to explain stuff. That could be part of your core pillars, right? Now, have a 2-year vision. Describe what the channel looks like in 2 years if everything goes perfectly, right? If you are able to put your mindset and look into the future and you describe the future, by doing that, there's a tendency of making the future a reality. So remember that, look 2 years ahead. Try to look into your eyes and make a determination where you want it to go. Another thing you need to do is identify the audience. What specifically void does your content fill? For example, this video is about a particular problem that YouTubers may be having, which is not getting enough viewers because of why? Because they're getting too many hats and they're creating content which is not aligned with a niche, right? So if you identify your audience, you'll be able to figure out what is your video, what are your videos doing. Like, for example, the next 10 videos that I'm creating are based on find a problem, fill a problem, right? So it's a problem solution kind of outcome. Yeah, so that could be, you could look at a $1 versus $1,000 item or service, right? So look for something that will kind of you think your audience will like, a problem that they have, and try to solve that problem. And you'll find out that instead of looking for viewers will find you, they'll look for you. Again, the outcome is that a clear North Star will guide decision and bind a loyal specific audience. So if you are, for example, you like football and you write about football, the audience will be, if you have good content, they will migrate to you and they will find you. So that's something that they want. Now, what is the overload problem? We news creators get burned out by trying to do too many things at once without a plan, leading to stop and start and inconsistency. What does that mean? Well, let's say you say, okay, my niche is travel. And you create a whole bit about travel. You say, nah, my niche is food. So you stop doing travel and then you start doing food kind of things. And then you say, no, my niche is sport. So that's what I mean, stop and start. You don't want to do that. You want to try to look at a niche and stick to it as much as you can. I know at the beginning you may not have the vision, but try to create a couple of videos, see what you really like, and stay with the things that you like, and you'll find that could become your passion, and you will be able to look into the future and begin to create content to do that. So system over intensify, build repeatable workflow and protect your creativity energy. That's what you need to do instead of having to start, right? You build a repeatable workflow. Like for example, I have a workflow that I use for creating these live events, right? I try to follow that as much as I can. I have, my plan is basically this. I do a live event with the topic that is of my interest within my niche, right? I create a video right after that, and then I post a video, and then I create shorts out of that video and I post them, right? So it's a 1, 2, 3 punch, right? Basically. And then I have tools and elements between that to be able to make it repeatable. So let's talk about how do you do this. One thing you want to do, you want to create a video, a batch of 3 videos in one section, edit in dedicated blocks. Like for example, if you do that, I created a video last night, I'm going to create another video tonight. I haven't posted it yet. So I create one more video that makes it 3. Then when I do my edits, I'm able to share information between the videos, right? The B-rolls could be shared. Some of the intro and outro can be shared. Don't make it the same, but maybe the concept could be shared, right? Now, also, that's the batching method. Another one is a template method, which I recommend, right? Like I said, for my videos, I have a template. I create a pre-script template where I load in all the basic information that I want, which is new. I want to create new content every single time, but I have certain areas that I wanted to be sure that it stays the same. And then I use that template to create my video elements, right? Anyway, he said that. Create my video element and then also have a checklist that actually tell me what have you created today. Okay, I have created, for example, my script. That's what I meant to say before, my script. Created my thumbnail. I created my title. So I go check for the production. And what that does is reduce my mental fatigue. I know exactly what I'm working on at the time. So if you do this, do it consistently and without burnout, give the algorithm time for your audience, right? Like for example, one thing that I did not mention there, one thing on my checklist is to post 24 hours, to upload 24 hours for posting. That's to give the algorithm time to find my audience. So that's part of my checklist, right? Step number 5, I'm not counting. Another problem that we'll find is the invisible video problem. Great content goes ignored because the packaging, and if you have been listening to my video, the package involves what? 2 things, the title and the thumbnail. If you fail to earn the click because they are poorly designed, that is your invisible video problem, the CTR, right? CTR is invisible video problem, right? So this is a halfway through, right? For me, for tonight, right? So let's do a quick recap, because I think we went a little bit too fast, and I'm going to go back and come back to this from here, right? So we said tonight we are going to talk about the overload problem, right? And how to reclaim our creativity, right? We are presenting to you some techniques from going from zero to discovering in YouTube. I'm providing some practical YouTube growth techniques to avoid burnout, right? We talk about what is the reality of it. We know, as I've been speaking to that discovery is not luck. YouTube is a production system, and we need to, as creator, be a director for our video, our editor, and our data analyst, right? We need to have a clear direction, know where we are going. We cannot just be posting random video that will confuse both our viewers and the algorithm. So we need to be intentional in our goal setting and define our niche and our value proposition, right? We talked about that. And then we define the overall problem, because we're trying to do too much at the same time. And we need to avoid the start, stop inconsistency problem, where we kind of move around from one niche to another, like travel, like sports, like food, like X, Y, and Z, right? That is kind of causes confusion to everyone. And then we got to the CTR invisible problem, which is the content goes ignored because our title and our thumbnail fail to earn a click. If no one clicks on your video, doesn't matter how good it is, they will never see it. And what gets them to click is the thumbnail first, the title second, or it could be the other way around. You see the people show us a title and thumbnail, but to me, I'm visual, so therefore I go for the picture first. Like, for example, let's see tonight. Did I show? No, I don't have the thing for tonight. I don't have the script for the thing for tonight. So like every time I do something, it's an adventure. Okay, so solution: we treat your packaging as 50% of the work. If they don't click, they don't watch, right? So 50% of the work is tied up into your title and thumbnail. So they advise you to design your thumbnail first before the video is made. Now, I've seen a lot of people give that advice, including Mr. B. And I said, how can you do that? Because it's kind of hard. Well, it is hard, but you might be able to change it before you post it. But if you start with a designer mind, you start with a visual mind as to what you're doing, you might be able to get there. Let me see if I could kind of give an idea what I'm talking about. Let me see if I can give you an idea what I'm talking about. Let me go here. Go here. Okay, I think I'm showing you the thumbnail that I created, right? So I created this thumbnail to start with, but it was very similar to, the title was very similar to one that I just published a couple of days ago. I said, I don't want to do that. Then I end up designing this one here, crack the creator burnout and overload problem. And I play around with it because I think, you know what, that's a good one. And that's the one that you clicked on to watch the video. So in reality, that's what you're clicking on, right? So if that attracts your attention, then that's great. But if not, then the next thing that will attract your attention is basically the title, which is basically the same as you see on the thumbnail. You want to have some consistency between the title, your thumbnail, and the title that you post in your video. You probably see the same all around. So basically, that's what you want to see, right? So you want to package that. You want to be sure that you write title that poses a question or promise a result. So what am I promising? Crack the creator burnout, right? If you are working YouTube, you are going to get burnout. If you're doing anything at all that makes sense, you are going to get burnout. And basically, that's what's going to happen. An overload problem, if you're a small creator, you're doing everything yourself. So therefore, that's also applicable. So the question is, was that what cracked your curiosity to click on this video? If it is, now you're getting an idea of what I'm talking about, right? So use high contrast color and minimal text. 3 to 5 words maximum on the thumbnail, right? I said 4 words. Let's see how many did I have. I have more than that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I have too many apparently, but hey, not everything is perfect. I kind of overcame that by using like different color, 1, 2, 3, 4 yellow, 1, 2, 3 white, right? So I kind of try to overcome the size of the thumbnail by basically, creating different color and different size for the font, so to be able to work through that. Okay. The outcome: higher click-through rate or CTR signal to YouTube that the video is worth promoting. So if the video is published and people click on it, they will send it out to more people to be able to be exposed to it, right? So that's what you want to increase your click rate and also your retention, right? It help with your retention. The more they click, the more they watch, the more they be able to be recommended by YouTube, right? That's what you want. Then we have an issue called the boring viewer or the bored viewer problem, which actually impacts retention. So the basic problem is that viewers click but leave within 30 seconds due to a slow intro or plot, right? So that's something you want to avoid. Usually, even on my live show, I go in the following day and I look at my first minute or so, and I cut all the fluff out of it. Any dead space, any fluff, it gets cut, because you may not be able to get all the views that you need on day one. Or if your videos are evergreen, people will look at it over and over and over again. And basically what will happen is, you want to be sure that once they find you, then you want to be sure they stay with you. Because we're not doing shorts anymore, right? If you look, we're doing mostly long videos right now. So for that reason, even my live show, they tend to be 30 minutes, 40 minutes, 50 minutes, and 1 hour, so you want to be sure that when if you're editing a video, especially the first minute or two, you go out there and you edit and you cut anything that appears to be fluff, right? You don't want to have any fluff if you're creating that, right? And also, if you're doing your live events, right, you go look at it the following day because you cannot edit it the same day, and go out there and cut on any flaw that you find, any dead space, things of that nature, and you'll find that the number of viewers staying with your event, with your thing, will be increased. Okay. Also, it's keep the long animation start immediately with the value promise in your title, right? So you need to avoid that because that keeps the introduction, right? No long animation regarding what you're doing, right? So, like for example, when we started, I said, feeling like you're wearing too many hats, right? Are you creating your story, editing, blah, 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 right? And I say it was a path to burnout. So right away, if you look at my title, I was talking about the burnout problem, the overwork problem, right? So right away, I provided you content that said, hey, my thumbnail and title match the content that I'm displaying to you. And that's what you want to do. You want to be sure that you do that, because otherwise your introduction will have a lot of fluff and people will just leave. The other one is called padding interrupt. Use B-roll, text overlay, and camera angle every 45 seconds. So now, I was always thinking, how do I do that when I'm doing my live event? Because otherwise I'm just talking. So if you look on the, I think it's up here, in my upper right, you see that it's a B-roll scrolling on the background, right? Every so often it changes. Right now, of course, it got stuck, you see. Yeah, okay, every so often it changes. It gets to the end and then I have to get it restarted. So part of it is me speaking and there's no sound coming out of it. So I'm doing other voicing for this live event. For my B-roll on the upper right side here, it's actually doing all the B-roll background. So you always have more than just the talking head. Now on the my upper left, you have the thumbnail that I created, and actually I'm looking at the Gemini because I wanted to do it that way. That way I have 3 different elements that I'm showing at the same time. So that's what you want to do. You don't want to have just talking head, talking all the time. You want to have things in the background, even on the live event. So those, again, my B-roll, my thumbnail, and actually now the talking head, right? So that's what it's called pattern interrupt. People are looking at, and if you want to do, I don't want to do that, but you could actually just periodically switch to one of the elements so that people are not looking at the same thing all the time. Another thing you want to do, you want to cut the filler. If a sentence does not move the story forward, delete it in editing, right? Live event, you kind of just speaking and things of that nature. When your preparation, you go kind of say, well, was that like today? I looked at the what I wanted to talk about. I had about 15 items to talk about. So some of it was repetition, some of it was kind of similar. So I feel I don't want to have filler on my presentation. I'm going to try to have a 30-minute presentation that's tight, contain all the elements that I want to talk about. I have our presentation that has a lot of filler in it and a lot of repetition, right? So you kind of want to avoid that, right? So the outcome is increased average view duration, AVD, the primary driver of YouTube recommendation, right? So AVD, the average view duration that you get is when you do your analytics, look for that. It's one of the primary drivers for YouTube recommendations. So if your average view duration is low, right, because people are clicking on your video, then they're clicking out, that's not going to help you. It's not going to help you watch hours. It's not going to help YouTube recommend your video to other people. And the better you get at this thing, the better people begin to recommend your video, not only people, but also YouTube to make some recommendation, right? So the bored viewer problem is something to really look at, right? You don't want people to just find you and then 30 seconds later they are gone, right? So you need to use hook, curiosity loops, and things of that nature to be able to keep your viewers. And it's very important that you do that. Like, for example, one of the curiosity loops that I created says, most new creators fail to get discovered, not because content is bad, but because they are trapped in a stop and start cycle. They don't even know it exists, right? I think I explained that fairly well, right? As I was going through the video. So you need to keep your viewer interested in your content, not be bored by it, right? Let's look at another one. The guesswork problem. What is that? Creator repeats the same mistake because why? They don't know how to read their own channel data. Look at your analytics. I mean, I look at my analytics all the time. It tells me the age of the viewers. It tells me, what videos I've been watched by my viewers and things of that nature. So you gotta look at your analytics all the time. Obviously, people look at it every day because they want to know, did I go viral today? Did I get my $4,000 watch hour today? I said, forget all that. What about developing good content? Eventually you will get there. If you concern is always, oh, did I go viral today? That's not a good recipe for sanity. Like last night I said, commit to 100 videos and then look at the analytics based on that 100 videos, right? And you'll be able to learn so much more than just looking at each video independently. You'll be able to look and say, what's your strategy? What did I say? I'm a problem-solving machine, right? I see a problem and try to solve a problem through my video. The question is, I'm doing a 10-video series on that. I'm going to evaluate the result of that and see, did I move the needle? Did that itself move the needle, right? So let your growth be data-driven. Become a student of YouTube Studio and the algorithm. Become a student of it, right? Or analytics, and be able to see what's working and what's not working. These are a few action steps you need to take. Retention graph. Identify exactly where your viewer drops and fix those dips in your next video. Like, for example, if you go to analytics and you go to retention, you'll see that you start 100%. Then within 30 seconds, there will be a dip. Then within a minute, there will be a dip. Then within a minute and a half, there will be a larger dip. What you don't want is 30 seconds in, you go drop to zero. But you are able to see that if you do hooks every 30 seconds, you might be able to retain your video, retain your viewers, right? So that's what you want to do. Don't let the data drive what you do, right? So what's another step you could take? Traffic source. See if people find you via search or SEO or browser homepage to adjust your strategy. So where are your viewers coming from? And based upon that, you'll be able to adjust your strategy as to what you do. Next is replicate success. Identify your top performing videos and make a part 2 or related topic. So basically, these are the steps that I gave you for avoiding the guesswork. Retention graph, traffic source, replicate success, right? So if you fix the retention graph, you'll be recommended by YouTube a lot more because they want your people to watch your video and stay within your video. That's the thing, right? Traffic source, knowing where it's coming from is very important. You got a little tool there that tells you where your views are coming from, and that's a good source to be able to determine what you create, how to create your next video. Okay, so look into that. The basic outcome is that smarter content pivots that leads to exponential growth rather than stagnant guessing, right? So if you're smart about your content, that allow you to pivot, that allow you to move, that allow you to change into growth, and you avoid being stagnant. You avoid guessing. You avoid not moving forward, right? Make it a data-driven channel rather than a guess what you do next channel. So we have another issue that I want to discuss about. It's called the noise problem. It's a mindset, so to speak, right? What's the problem? Negative comments or slow growth leads creators to quit before the breakthrough, right? I cannot tell you this, especially when you are starting, you're hoping somebody will see your video, you're hoping somebody will comment on the video, and then you finally get a comment and it's a negative comment. Oh my God, like, what do? You pull your hair. Incredible. But you know what? People say every comment is a good comment because at least they're looking at your video, at least they're making comments. That might be so. But I tell you what, negative comments sometimes are not helpful at all. They actually destroy the spirit of the small creator. But you have to be able to overcome. You have to have a tough armor. You have to have a tough shell. You have to have a tough mind and be able to avoid the noise and have a mindset that you're going to win, despite the fact there are some people out there that don't believe in you. So you got to develop that thick skin and focus on the constructive data that you do get and get emotional feedback from friends and family and from colleagues, right? There are many colleagues out there that tell you, no matter what you're feeling, quitting is not the answer. Is it tough? Yes, it's tough. You think it's tough, but it's doable. And once you reach success, then you have to be able to maintain success. And guess what? That's where the payoff comes to be. So stick to it, right? So there's a few action steps for you. Schedule checks. Only check comments, stats at a specific time, now or day long. As a matter of fact, like in this particular case, I decided that for the next 10 videos, I'm not checking my stats because I have a process. I'm going to create 10 videos related to finding problems and finding a solution. Once the 10 videos are completed, I will take a look and see the sort of success that I might be getting, or perhaps a failure. But you never know. But you have to have an idea, you have to stick to it, and you have to keep moving forward because you might never know. In my case, it might be the 9th video, it might be the 10th video before I see some real results from that, right? So what's the next step? Moderate early. Use the high user from channel tools for trolls to keep the community healthy. So if you get a bad comment, some people say, well, I'll just answer it, right? And it will stay into my YouTube as a comment. It's not worth it because you might see it again and you might lower your spirit. So use the high user from channel tool. That way the trolls will just not be visible and they're not going to get the satisfaction that they need. Right? So that's my advice on that. What's the next one? Celebrate small wins, right? So now you have, therefore you have the schedule checks that I talked about. You have moderate early and celebrate small channel. Like today, I posted a video, a streamer video. A few comments came in. You want to be, if you're streaming a video or using Premiere, you do want to be there, right? So in case there are comments, you go ahead and answer them early or right away, right? So that's one thing you may want to do. It's kind of hard to do sometimes, but so that's what you have to be able to find a way to get it done. Celebrating more small wins. Focus on 1% improvement on every video, rather than a sub count, right? I do make improvement, and I do try to work on something, and then what happens? The change is causing me to do something different, right? Like for example, the one that you're looking at up here, the B-roll, I made it for arguably an hour, but in reality, it's only like 8 minutes. So I have to be able to make it longer, so I don't have to keep clicking on it every time, or I don't allow it to get reset and have like a long pause on it. So that's something I created the B-rolls. I like what it's doing, but in reality, I need to improve it. So I know how to improve it. I know how to make it bigger. I know how to make it longer. I just need to keep working on it. So that's a 1% focus. I already have a goal of what to do next on my live event. And instead of having to go look at it periodically to be sure it's still working, what I'm going to do, I'm going to make it longer than what it is right now and see what's going on. So that's my next 1%. It could be something else, but that's my next 1%. The basic combo is improve mental health and a stamina to stay in the game long enough to be successful. If you quit too early, what's going to happen? You're just going to quit and not achieve your dream. So stay in the game, improve mental health by doing the things that I talked about, like schedule checks. Don't check stats every day. Do it once a week. Get rid of trolls by hiding them. Using the user, they hide the user for the channel feature, and celebrate a small win by improving 1% on every video rather than the sub count. Right? The sub count will come if you keep working hard. The sub count will come. Now let's look at the path forward. What should we do with the things that we talked about? Let me see if I could give you a quick summary of the things that we've been talking about, so that we can do a quick summary at the end. It's important that we kind of not just go through it one time and forget about it. Basically, let's go ahead and just do a quick summary, right? So the basic topic for tonight was avoiding burnout. If you look at the thumbnail on my upper left, could be different for you. We wanted to crack the creative burnout and overload problem, right? That's the basic idea for tonight. We talked about that, and we providing some practical techniques to go from zero to discover in YouTube, right? Which if you get discovered, obviously that will be fine. You have additional funds that you can invest in getting help and things of that nature. But until then, everything you do to grow your channel is you. You are the one. You are the person that does everything. You will do the story creation, the editing. You will do the analytic review. You will do the promotion of your video. There's no one but you helping you that, right? So remember, your content could be the best. And so that's not a reason why that's not what you fail, right? You fail because you might start working on a niche, then you stop that one, and within the same channel, you start working on something else. You begin to confuse the viewers and the algorithm, which I could be doing some of that, but I could explain on my channel what are the things that I'm doing, so people don't get confused. So the reality is, as I said earlier, that if you think about it, being discovered, being successful on YouTube is not luck. It's a production. YouTube is a production system. And you as the creator need to be the director, the editor, and the data analyst, right? You can move from being a hobbyist to being a strategic creator. That's what you want to do. Success is a marathon. It's not a sprint, right? Like you go out there and sprint for one day, success. Like people say, I got considered in YouTube in 24 hours. I take off my hat, get my hat to those people. But I wonder if they really learn the lessons that they need to learn by just doing it so quickly, Because, you have to go through all the ups and downs. You have to go through really learning the skills. Maybe they just got lucky. It's possible. We talked about having direction in doing our work, avoid just being without direction. We need to define what our niche is and our value proposition. Very important that you do that as early as possible to avoid being without direction. And we say, step for you to do is define the content pillar, create a 2D vision, and identify the audience problem, right? Which like who is your audience, right? And look for the North Star from the data that you're gonna follow and move forward, right? We talked about the overload problem, right? Which is when you're doing everything. Wearing every hat in the company, right? So I say, what you do is you create systems, you build repeatable workflow to protect your creativity. You batch video, minimum of 3 at a time. I'm batching 3 videos, 10 videos at a time right now. But 10 is too many. I tell you right now. 3 videos is fine. I've done 3 videos. It's not that hard to do. You create templates that you can reuse over and over for thumbnail and description. But remember, it cannot be produced the same template or the same title. You gotta help you create that, because you don't want the same thing that you become. You have the issue of repeatable content, which YouTube really truly doesn't like. So do create checklists for production, so you know exactly what to do and avoid mental fatigue. Do the live show, create the video, create the title, create the thumbnail, and blah, 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 right? That's what you want to be able to do. So when you finish, you know exactly how to move from one step to the next, right? And you have a consistency, and without burning out, and you give yourself time to figure out what your next step is, right? One of the issues we talked about was the click-through problem, right? We said 50% of the packaging of the work is basically your packaging, which is the thumbnail and your title. So one of our even said to you, hey, you may want to create and design your thumbnail before you even create the video. And I gave you an example. In my case, I did create a thumbnail, which I may have to update obviously, because I don't want to use the thumbnail for my video and for my live event. So it's going to be based something similar to that once we go ahead and make that transition. Okay, here we go. Then we talked about the board viewer problem, retention. How to maintain your retention. If, for example, people click on your video and 30 seconds later they are gone, you can do that. You want to create hooks and curiosity loops in order to keep them viewing throughout the video. To create a hooks at the beginning, then you create curiosity loops between elements of your presentation. And like, for example, one of the curiosity loops that I have for this video was most new creators fail to get discovered, not because their content is bad, but because they are trapped in a stop and stop cycle, right? And I did talk about that, and I explained how to get out of it, and I explained how not to do it, right? So we did talk about guesswork and how to base it upon analysis, using the analytics on your YouTube to create repeatable kind of work instead of repeating the same mistake. Make your channel data driven rather than guesswork driven, right? And look at your retention graph, look at your traffic sources, and replicate your success. And the outcome will be a smarter content pivot that will lead you to growth and will avoid stagnation and guessing, right? And then after that, we talked about the noise problem, right? Which is what? Negative comments kill your spirit, kill your ability to get up the next day and go to work. Don't let that get to you. Develop a thick skin, create an armor. And things to do is do not check YouTube analytics daily. Have a schedule like once a week. Get rid of trolls by use a high user channel tool and celebrate a small wins. So now, let's see if we're able to know what is the path forward. What do we do with all the data that we have? So, as I said before, discovery is not luck. It's a result of packaging plus retention plus developing a system. That's what you need to do. Don't try to go viral. The goal is to try to be repeatable. Every major creator starts with 0 subscribers and a messy first video. I could tell you this, my first thing was I want to go viral. I want to get one video that gives me 1 million, 2 million views. That is hard to do, for me anyway. For you, it might be easy. But for me and most people, that's hard to do. So if you cannot get that single video that gets you to the stratosphere, what do? You can't quit. You have to build a repeatable system where you get consistent view from the tool, right? And remember, you started at 0, but eventually, I got 1, I got 2. Now you keep growing, you're gonna get hundreds and thousands. So don't stop and keep posting. Have a repeatable system doing that, right? What is the mission? The mission is to pick one strategy from today, whether it be batching, thumbnail first, and then you apply that consistently. We talked about a lot of different strategy, right? How to solve them, right? We talked about a step, for example, for success. To treat it as a marathon, not as a sprint, right? We talked about if you don't have direction, what to do. Define your content pillar, 2 or 3 videos. Define a 2-year vision and think about how it's going to look in 2 years. Identify the audience problem, right? So if you are overloaded, what do? You do batching, 3 videos at a time. You create templates. We use reusable from video to video with minor changes, right? You develop checklists to help with the production. If you have a click-through rate problem, what do? You design first. Design your thumbnail before you even film the video. You create curiosity caps. Write title that poses a question and provide a promise a specific result. What else do you do? Bold simplicity. Use high contrast color and minimal context, beautiful words on a thumbnail, right? So if you have a bored viewer problem, how do you solve that? Kill the intro, skip the long animation, and start immediately with a value promise on your title. Create pattern interrupts. Use B-roll like you see right here on my upper right. Those I call B-rolls, where you actually have not a talking head all the time. You have something else going on in the background, the B-roll. Our music, you can see them, we having music ever since you started, right? So make it lively, right? And cut any fillers that you have in the introduction. And like, for example, when you go back and edit, I'm going to hear some things in here that I didn't like. I listen to the whole video and I make the changes that I need to make. That's what you have to do. If you have a guesswork problem, what do? Retention graph. You look at the retention graph in YouTube and you know exactly where your video is dipping. Fix that. Traffic source. Where are your viewers coming from? Is it SEO? Is it browse? Is it the home page? Once you know that, you know how to change your video to adjust and get a better results. And more than anything, when you replicate success, if you identify a top performing video and make a part 2 of related topic on that, that's basically what you want to do. Like I chose a topic, see a problem, fix the problem, and I'm creating a 10 video series on that. You're going to judge at the end of that how successful that is. If you have a noise problem, what does that mean? You have a negative comment and the slow growth lead the creator to quit before the breakthrough. Don't quit is the answer, right? So the answer is schedule checks. Only check comments, stats, and specific time, or the specific time, not all day long, like once a week, every other day, whatever. Get rid of the trolls. So moderate early when you post a video, like if you live stream or if you do Premiere, be online when that's going on. And any negative comment, just get rid of it right away. Just use the hide user from channel tool. Celebrate a small win, right? That's what you have to do. You celebrate a small win, 1%, and improve your video every time. And you improve your presentation every time by 1%. That's what you got to do. That's the mission. So remember, progress always beats perfection. So the more progress you make, the more perfect in your mind you will be, the better you will get. So stay with us. We are, and look at our next video, which is about to post right over here. So